Hey everybody, real quick before we dive into today's episode, I want to let you know that I'm doing a giveaway here on this podcast. So one of you can win a $50 Amazon gift card. What do you have to do to enter this giveaway? All you have to do is to leave me a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. And here's how you can do it. So open your phone, open the podcast app, go to my show, and there is a purple clickable link. You click on that, then scroll all the way down until you see ratings and reviews. And leave me a 5-star rating, leave me a review, and one of you will win that $50 Amazon gift card. I will announce the winner on the last episode in October. So good luck, and here is the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Balanced Vibes podcast. I'm your host, Kirsten. If you like this podcast, if you love to watch it on YouTube, please subscribe to this channel. And if you're listening to Spotify or iTunes, make sure that you subscribe, because that way you never miss out an episode. And I do post new episodes twice a week, most weeks. So there's a good number of episodes already lined up for you, and you can listen to them all. But if you're not subscribed, you may miss them. So make sure that you are subscribed. Okay, so today we're going to talk about how to maintain your fat loss results, how to keep them, because this is really important, isn't it? Nobody wants to lose weight just temporarily and then gain it back. But this is what happens. This is the reality for a lot of people. They just gain it all back and the cycle begins again. And typically they choose some sort of extreme method, extreme diet, extreme approach to lose that weight. And that's why they end up doing the same thing over and over again. It's the same old story, losing, gaining, losing, gaining. And I want you to get out of this cycle. And so live your life now that you get the result that you want, and then you maintain it. So this is the topic today. What are the things that you have to do to maintain your results? And I want to simplify this for you because it actually is pretty simple. It really is simple. I think a lot of people think that maintaining is a lot harder than losing was, but I disagree with this. I think maintaining actually takes less work, takes less attention to detail. What it does take is habits, consistent habits that you hopefully learn while you are working through your fat loss journey. You will learn certain things that you have to do every day, every week. And when you're able to maintain these things, and there are 4 things we're going to talk about today, then maintaining your results is going to be relatively easy, because this is your lifestyle now. It becomes a lifestyle. You're not the person anymore who's like dieting all the time. No, not at all. You just maintain it because this is how you live your life. And you maintaining the results is kind of like a byproduct of doing these things consistently, living this new lifestyle and doing the things all the time consistently. This is what helps you. So the first thing that I will say that really determines whether or not you're able to maintain your results is the method that you chose to lose the body fat or body weight. Most commonly, if you choose something really extreme, it will take your weight down relatively fast, but also it will not be able to, you're not be able to maintain it this way. So the method matters the most. And those now who say that, oh, losing it was easy and maintaining it is not, those people probably chose a poor method for their weight loss to begin with. And the poor method can be some kind of diet, right? The keto or vegan or whatever the programs are out there that are really unsustainable, that put you on super low calories, or take out one or more food groups, or tell you these false stories that you have to eliminate this food because it's so inflammatory, it's going to kill everybody. Like all these stories that are like extreme, you have to take this really extreme approach. This stuff is not going to work. And it's so interesting how diets become like such like a cult thing sometimes. Like we so strongly believe that we have to be part of it and we identify with it, but all this is unnecessary. And if you're able to avoid this extreme approach and do it in a more like holistic way, in a way of like learning, creating new lifestyle habits, if you're able to make that shift, then whatever you lose, you're able to maintain it so much easier, right? It's not actually hard. So
the way, of course, I coach my clients is using macronutrition. And you might be thinking, oh, but this is not stable either because I cannot put food in the scale for the rest of my life. And I will tell you that this is not necessary. The period when you put the food on your scale is when you're actively working on your fat loss. You want to lose some body fat. You have to know for sure that you are in a calorie deficit. But then later on, once you get the results from your deficit that you wanted and would take you out of that deficit, at one point, you should get to the point where you are now not tracking everything, not putting everything on the scale. It's not necessary. You don't have to. But what you have to do is to maintain these lifestyle habits, these changes that you started when you went through this process. And weighing your food does not have to be there. You don't have to weigh your food. I've talked about it many times. I currently don't weigh my food because I've done this. I learned this when I was going through my own fat loss, and I have stuck with these 4 habits that I'm going to talk to you about today. I have kept them, and everything else kind of falls into place, right? So, what are the four things then that you always have to do, and that will help you to maintain the results that you got? Well, honestly, I'm going to tell you, there's nothing new here. I'm not going to tell you any new, like, oh my God, I never heard about this thing before. There's not going to be a thing like that. There's going to be simple things that you have heard me talk about on this podcast many, many times. And number one is protein. Okay. You might be like, oh my God, I've heard this. I know you've heard this, but are you doing this? Are you actually getting 1 gram per pound of your body weight every day? Or if you're not tracking it, which you don't have to, like I said, but do you know visually what that looks like? Are you eating high protein every single day? Because you should. This is one of your foundations. This is how you maintain the results that you got. So now if you're lifting weights, you're eating high protein, you're gonna have more muscle in the body. Of course, your programming has to be good. We get there in a second too. But protein is really number one because it's so satiating. You're gonna want to eat less of all the other things. You're gonna have a lot less cravings. You're going to have more stable blood sugar. Your digestion will be better. There's like so many benefits to eating more protein. And I really encourage you to eat whole food, real protein. You can always ask, did this food come from nature? Did it have a mother? This is how you know. Did it grow in earth? This is how you know that this is real good protein for you. And this is how you choose like what are the best sources of protein. Of course, you can have supplement with like protein powders or bars sometimes if you need to, but definitely it's a lot better idea to eat whole real food proteins. You notice that you're more satisfied with your food. And of course, you can never compare the bars and powders, their nutrient density with what you get from eggs and meat and milk and things like that and yogurt. So real food is always better, and protein is number one. So put it in your plate, put it in the middle of your plate, make sure that you get your at least your palm size or 1.5 palm size of protein with every meal. And this is really one big quote unquote secret that will help you. It's amazing how much this will help you if you just can make it a habit. The next thing, of course, is the fiber. So vegetables with every meal. Of course, if it's not every single meal, fine, but most of your meals. We can't, I don't really like seeing things like I'm just eating, a bunch of like ground turkey and a couple of chips on the side. Where are your veggies? You have to eat veggies. And the example that I gave you, I actually do see sometimes. So it's like very kind of plain. It's just like one thing. Yeah, we only got the protein, but it's so easy to add a little bit of vegetables to it. So there's so many different ways to prepare your vegetables, and vegetable preparation has to be part of your weekly thing. This is what you do. Once a week or twice a week, you're going to cook yourself a bunch of vegetables. I use my Instant Pot a ton. Now the pumpkin and squash season is coming up, so I'm planning to make a lot of capocha squash and butternut squash, and maybe what's the spaghetti squash in my Instant Pot. You can also make a lot of things. I just microwave. In microwave, you can oven roast cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, asparagus. It's so important that you have these things prepared so you can just mix and match. And so when you are now in the space of maintenance where you want to just maintain results, you have your protein ready, and now you're just going to pick whatever the vegetables you wanted. And I always have them in the fridge because this is a habit. This is what I do. Even though I don't have a weight loss goal, this is now a new thing. This is a lifestyle thing. I'm preparing my protein, I'm preparing my vegetables, because I know that when I have these two, consistently with most meals that I eat, I am staying on track. Like I said, less cravings, less need for all these like other million snacky things, and I'm keeping my blood sugar healthier, and I'm keeping the muscle mass on also, of course, because I work out. So these are the two nutrition most important things, and of course then everything else kind of goes around this. You have your rice or other starchy carbs, potatoes, whatever, and then a little bit of fat if you need to. But I will say that a lot of times the protein sources that we eat also have a good amount of fat already, so a lot of times you don't even have to think necessarily like what is the fat source to add, unless you have had this thing in the past where you eliminated fat completely. Then you may still be a little bit in this way of thinking. But honestly, what I see more of recently is that a lot of people come from the keto background and their fat is crazy high, their protein and fats are high, especially fats, and then they tend to forget about the carbs. So you want to make sure that you're eating balanced meals, but yes, the protein and fiber in the form of veggies, they are the most important things, and then you put the other things around that. So these are the nutritional things that you have to make a lifestyle thing. You have to, and this is how you maintain results. Now let's talk about the second part, which is the movement part. So what you want to keep doing is you want to keep lifting weights. So you cannot forget about it. And this is forever now. Yeah, it's forever. This is what you're doing now. So no matter how old you are, I want you to start if you haven't started yet, or continue if you're already started, and you're just gonna keep going. It doesn't mean that your weightlifting always has to look the same. Like, now that you're maybe 40 and maybe when you are like 80, it probably is going to look different, but you have to maintain some form of resistance training. You just have to, because that will help you to maintain the results. So you want to stimulate your muscles, you want to work them, you want to make sure that they're used and that they build and grow, which you support with protein. So if you can keep lifting weights 3 days a week and using a good program such as my Train to Build, for example, which you can find in the bio of my Instagram and in my YouTube comments and everywhere where I am, do this program, eat your protein, and you're gonna be golden. Like there's no secret sauce here. I know people want to get some magic bullet. There's none. And all these things you already did when you did your fat loss, hopefully. Because also, let me tell you, if your program, which I have seen, looks like you're gonna eat 1,300 calories and please don't work out, and they say it because they probably want to cover their ass and not have anybody get super weak or die because they work out on super low calories. This is not good. Not good. So you're supposed to work out. You're supposed to lift weights. Of course, there are conditions, like if there's something going on seriously, they're super depleted, then you cannot work out. This is not the case that we're talking about right now. We're talking about generally healthy people who are capable of lifting weights, working out, who recover all right, and they're doing well. They should really be lifting 3 days a week if they want to maintain the results. And then the fourth piece is walking. I feel like a lot of people who maintain the workouts, they don't walk necessarily as much, but we are living an extremely sedentary lifestyle and we want to find ways out of it. So actually these days, if you want to stay healthy and fit, it kind of means that you have to go against like what's naturally like programmed into it, or how our lives are designed. Right now they are designed so that we are really comfortable. We don't have to leave our house for anything, basically, right? But we have to then add these things in, such as walks. We have to add these things in order for us to stay healthy. So walking is one of these things. You just have to make some time for it. Every day, I recommend that you take 10,000 steps. Again, it depends a little bit on your starting point, but maybe you're right, not there yet. But you have to gradually build up and get at least like 1 hour of walking, or to get 10,000 steps. It takes you a little bit more than an hour and 20 minutes. But also, if you can make this a habit, you are going to help yourself in so many different ways. You're going to reduce your cortisol, the stress level, right? And you're also going to add in a little bit of extra calorie expenditure, calorie burn, that will again help you to maintain the results that you got. So these are the 4 things. And it doesn't get it's not really that complicated at all. So why don't we just stop searching for this something super magical or a pill or special approach or something? Just stop searching for it, because it doesn't exist. It really comes down to daily work, right? What are the things that you do every single day? Are they your lifestyle? Are they your lifestyle right now? Are they your habits right now? Because if they're not yet, they have to become your lifestyle and your habits. You do these 4 things: you eat protein, vegetables, you lift weights, and you walk every day, and you're able to maintain the results. So now, one thing is important to understand, that when we talk about weight, your body weight, then when you go through your fat loss process, then your body weight may drop pretty low. Now, maintaining doesn't mean that you cannot go up a few pounds of that. You likely will, actually, because you're going to do a reverse diet. Your weight may go up a tiny bit, but the way you look, your body fat, these will actually, they should stay around the same where they were at the end of your fat loss. So let me say this again: your weight might fluctuate a little bit because you do a reverse diet. You're going to have more food and more fluids in your body. Yes, the weight, but the fat percentage, that actually should stay in a pretty decent place, in a similar place where it was at the end of your cut. So a little bit of fluctuation is not a big deal at all, but overall, you should be able to maintain it. And these are the 4 things how you maintain it. It's pretty simple. It's almost like funny how simple it is, and how much people overthink that. They think that they have to do something super extreme, or people who stay fit, they are working out 7 days a week, never eat at restaurants, never miss a workout, eating, like, never touch dessert. It is not true. You can still eat dessert. I eat dessert, something sweet every single day, but because the other part of nutrition is really good, it's not a concern, because there's a lot of muscle in the frame. It's not a concern. So you can do these things. You actually have a lot more flexibility, in my opinion, in this maintenance time than you did in a fat loss. So fat loss is definitely more targeted, more specific, more tracking. You have to weigh, you have to, like, be very specific about your process. That's just how it is. But now when we talk about maintaining, you do have more flexibility here. And this is where people, like, argue. They're like, no, I can't keep it off. Yes, you can, if you choose the right method for losing. So it is important to understand. So one other thing that I want to mention is that sometimes people still are looking for those quick fixes, no matter, like, how much they've heard that they don't work. But if they look for this quick fix, they might say that I want to get the weight down quickly because I have, like, a vacation coming up, or birthday or something like that I want to look good for. And I'm going to just, like, lose the weight right now. And even if I could tell them that it's not going to last, if you do this, like, 1,200 calorie diet plus cardio, it's not going to last. And sometimes they might say something like, well, I don't care. I just need it for now. I just want to get the weight down, and then I'll see how I maintain it. I'll figure it out along the way. But I'll tell you, you're not going to. Like, if this method, this approach was really extreme, you're not going to be able to figure it out later, because it's going to maintain, like, in order to maintain it, if you lost it in a really extreme way, you have to keep doing the extreme stuff. And as much as I know, most people don't have the desire, the capacity, or the willpower to do, let's say, like, 2 hours of cardio and eat 1,200 calories a day. You have to maintain that. Can you really do that? Nobody does that. Nobody likes to do it. Maybe some people, but most people cannot do this. It's just too much. It's too intense. It's not sustainable. It's unhealthy. So when you're able to choose a better method and then learn things along the way, you're going to keep these 4 things in mind that I just told you about. You're going to be doing so much better, and you are able to maintain the results that you got. All right, so I hope this episode was helpful for you. If you're not in my Fit and Fuel Facebook group yet, please join the group. It is a great group, and I do live videos there every week, 2 or 3, and I share other resources as well. So I really hope to see you in the group. It is growing. We have almost 500 ladies there right now, which is really cool. It definitely has grown in the past couple of months. So thank you for all the new members. And if you're not a member yet, please join. I cannot wait to say hello and to meet you in the group. All right, this is all for today. Thank you so much for being here, and take care.